What's up guys, it's Nitro Gaming. This is my full updated tour video of my survival world. Here are the settings that I mainly keep it on. It stays on survival, it's 100% survival. Difficulty is usually always on hard. And there's the world seed and stuff if anybody's interested in that. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Now this world here, I started back in PS3 version whenever PS3 first came out with Minecraft, so it was like 7 years ago. And then I transferred to PS4 version, and then whenever PS4 version got Bedrock, I transferred it to Bedrock version. So we're now on Bedrock. And as for what version I'm on, I stay with the latest version. Whatever PlayStation has at the time, it automatically updates, and I stick with it. So we are up here on the spawn platform. Now this used to be the spawn platform back on the PS4 version because you used to spawn at the highest point that you build. But whenever I switched to a Bedrock version, it no longer does that, so you spawn down there underneath at the castle. So here's a look around at some stuff. So before we start getting into all this, I want to go ahead and get you a trophy because a few people asked me in the last one to do this. So here's one of the DLC trophies. I have 100% completion on the regular trophies, but I don't really care about the DLC trophies. So this one is name a shulker with any name, so I'm going to go ahead and name the shulker. Alright, so I just name it. Once I do this, the trophy should pop up any second now. There it is right there. Alright, so this world here, as I said, I started about 7 years ago. Now I didn't play 24/7 in that 7 years, like I did quit for 2 years and I quit for another year. So it's on and off 7 years. But there is a lot in this world, so let's go ahead and start. Now down here is a map of the world. This is missing a lot of stuff, like the Cybertrucks down here, the dragons like over here, and the item sorters down here, so I will have to update this and make this bigger. So let's go ahead and head down to the bottom. Now with this tour, I kind of want to start with the older stuff first, and then work my way to the better, newer stuff. So right now we are going through a pony statue, and now we're inside the top of the castle. So down these stairs right here, we are in the inside of the spawn castle. Now, whenever people join the world now, instead of spawning up there like they used to, they just spawn down here in front of this fountain, like right about there. This castle here, I don't really use it anymore, like most builds, I don't really use them anymore. Over there, there's a library. That room right there is still empty. And on this side is an empty bedroom and an old villager breeder, which this breeder doesn't work anymore. As you can see, it uses the old method with the doors. So if we go ahead and hop down here, this right here is my old chest room and everything. So a lot of these chests still have stuff in it, but we will be moving everything to the item sorter and stuff once that's done, which I wanted it to be done for this video, but we just couldn't quite get it done. And on this side here, we just got a bunch of brewing stations for all the potions. Which I don't really use the potions that often, but if I need them, this is where I come to make them. And then out here on this side, there's just some small farms and stuff. I don't really use this area either. I just kind of built it just to fill in the space. I know I didn't show too much of this castle, but this castle is kind of empty on the inside. You know, you got the empty room there, and over there is just some bookshelves and stuff like that. And then in here I put some seats and stuff, so it's not really too much to look at. And I don't want this video to be too long. But here's the entrance and the whole fountain and stuff. This is what the building looks like. Pretty cool build for my first castle. Now this is the first castle I've ever built. One thing I do regret doing though is building this whole place out of cobblestone. This thing was built like 6 years ago, so it was a while ago, and the blocks were a lot harder to get because we didn't have beacons, we didn't have haste. I don't really want to change it now because I do want to keep everything how it was. So if we walk out here, so this area here was the first area that was built on my survival world. That house right there is the very first house I built in Minecraft. It's not great, but you know, it's good for a starter house. And then we got the underwater glass dome thing over here. It's just a little underwater chill spot. So this house here is the first house I've ever built. It used to have a lot of stuff in it, but I sort of came in here and stripped most things from it. It still has a bunch of random blocks and chests in here, which all this will get stripped out pretty soon. And down here is my sign room that I don't really use anymore. These right here are mainly a bunch of signs that were here from years ago that people that used to join and mess around in my world and stuff. So up here there's not too much because everything did get stripped, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I'm trying to go through these houses kind of fast because I don't want this tour video to be too long. So if we head on over here to the hotel, I built this hotel right after I built this castle. So if anybody new came into my world and they wanted a place to stay, they can temporarily live in here, you know, just make a room and everything, and then stay up there. So there is a couple people living in the rooms up there. But it's just a basic lobby and everything. You got some chairs and stuff. It's not really too decorated. And the stairs go up and there's a catwalk that goes all the way around and across right here. Which I'm not going to go up there into their rooms and stuff. This sheep pen right here was actually the first sheep pen that I made on this survival world. And it's been here since before the castle was even done. So this thing's been here forever. And over here there's a little boat and everything just to fill in that area a little bit. Also, before we go on too far, I do want to mention this item right here. So this item right here, I'm not really too sure what it is. I've already done a video on it trying to figure out what it is, but I'm not really sure. I know it's some kind of glitched item. I think whenever I transferred my world from the PS3 to the PS4 or to Bedrock Edition, something glitched and caused this item here. So I'm not really sure what it is. If anybody knows, then let me know. We'll get to that stuff more towards the end because that over there is some of the newer stuff and I don't want to get into that yet. So let's go ahead and head this way and circle around the map and then come back and then hit all the newer stuff. So we got Spyro here and then all the ponies down this line here. Now I'm going to fly up to these glass walls right here just so I can get a better view and show you this landscape and how everything is over here. Alright, so if we just land up here, you can see more of the castle and everything. So this castle right here, as I said, it was the first castle that I've ever built. You can see the spawn and everything. That's where we started the tour at. And then we went down through the leg right there and down like that, which we'll get a better view of it once I get over there. And these two houses down there are my cousin's houses, so we won't really tour these too much. So we can go ahead and head on this way. You got Spyro right there and then the main 6 ponies. Once you come up top, you can walk all the way down that way, or you can go under each one. I do have map art of each one of their cutie marks, and also there's a sign that tells you how many blocks are in the pony itself. Alright, so let's just head off down this way. This area here is where I was actually farming all the wool and stuff to make all the ponies. I just had a whole bunch of sheep in here, and then I'd come in here, watch movies, and shear them. Alright, we can go ahead and cut through this house here, just so I can show you the inside of it real quick. Also, this building that I kind of skipped over to begin with, this building here is a battle arena I built a long time ago. I was going to host like battles and stuff here and have people up there in the stands that you can bet on people and do all kinds of battles. But I never actually used this place, so I kind of just built it a long time ago and never really used it. So if we head off down this way, we got the Plaza Garden area and we got this big ball here. This ball here, you can go up in it. It's only filled up with water halfway, so there is walkways, and then you can walk around this whole ring. Here's the plaza area. So this area right here, I just got really bored one day, and I ended up building this. And this dragon egg is actually the first dragon egg I got, which will be moved pretty soon. And then we got the church area right here. So this church, another old build, as you can tell with all the colors. And then you can go up here, you got the podium and everything, and then a little choir section. So to get down there, you just come over here, and these stairs are right here, which the stairs gradually goes into this whole nether style. And then it opens up really big, and there's my portal, which that's really the only thing that's down here. Which this place did come out pretty cool. I'm happy with it, how it came out. A creeper did blow up right here, so I do need to come back and patch that, so just ignore that for now. We got chains hanging from the roof. That side we have the red side, and that's the blue side. That's just sort of a nod to the new nether stuff in the update. So whenever the update came out, I came and built these. Over here by the portal, you can see the chains a bit better. So the chains go up from the roof all the way down. and they go into the floor right there, which this is all the way down to bedrock, and I covered it all with lava. So the ice castle right here, I built this for a competition, which I already did a whole story on that. The competition I ended up getting kicked from because the people said I was cheating or something like that. So this house over here is just a little house. I used to have other houses right here built up, but I took them all down whenever I built that castle there. So this house was one of the first houses that I built out of ice, just learning some things, testing and stuff. So with the castle itself, the under part over here is just like a garden section, just for looks and everything, just to fill everything out and make it look a lot better. To get up into the castle, you just come here straight into the middle and go straight up this ladder here. The stairs in this place are really cool and complicated how they go up. So the stairs go up from there in all four corners. They go up and then they go up again, and they just keep going up and up and up all the way up to the top. So this right here is the very top of it. Creepers like to chill up here and blow some stuff up whenever they can. Let's go ahead and head all the way back down. I'm just going to go out one of these sides and take off. Get you a view of it from up here. So from here we're back in the center and we got Luna right there. We got another castle. We got Celestia that is unfinished. So let's go ahead and head up to Luna and I'll show you some views and stuff from on top of Luna. So from the top of Luna you can see the castle and stuff a lot better over there. You can get a view of everything. You got the other ponies, you got the nether build and stuff like that. On the back side over here you can see the water garden. It's just a garden area that looks really cool, which we'll go to that next. So from up here you got a good view of pretty much everything in this area. You got the whole Plaza Garden. So let's go ahead and head down to the garden over here and walk around this real quick. This area here, I was just bored and wanted something different, so I just started building, and this is what I came up with. It's just a little area you can walk around and just look around. Something pretty cool. You got the water up above you going around with the waterfalls in all the corners. Alright, I'm gonna head to the middle of the plaza area and show you this. It's kind of just an old rest point that I used to have. This was supposed to be the middle of the map, but then we kind of just went out in so many different directions, so it never actually became the middle. So in this direction over here, we have an old broken iron farm. Back here we have two dogs. So this right here, me and my brother actually restarted on this world. This was before this plaza and everything was all here. So there's a big mountain that cut through here. And we restarted on the survival world. I lived in this right here. My brother lived in this house here. That's why I kind of just kept these here. There is a big story behind this Ferris wheel. Basically, a streamer took my map and then his girlfriend wanted him to build this. He said he couldn't do it. So this little house right here that just looks like a little dirt hut. It looks like a little dirt hut in the middle of nowhere. But if you go down into it, it opens up really big. So in here is where my end portal is. I have it covered up with carpet. So these side layers here, I was going to do bedrooms on one side. So like this side here would be bedrooms all the way down. And the other side was going to be farms. And then I was going to bust out this back wall here and build an even bigger room. Like an underground tree and everything. And have it like life underground and stuff. So you could survive under here. And I was going to make this like a bunker. So back from the middle over here, if we head on to this castle here, I didn't really know where I was going with this at all, and I sort of just built this big table right here, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. One of my buddies, he thought I was going to put like food and stuff and make it a big picnic table, but then I ended up building a castle on top of it. We got pillars that go up all the way over there on these two corners, and then we got the main pillar that goes up in here. So if we go ahead and head up to the top. So the whole style that I was going for this was like a kingdom castle. It's all open, and then you have the big chair for the king and stuff, and you got two little chairs for the helpers and everything. So these stairs are in all four corners like usual, And if you go all the way up each one, you'll get into the side towers on each one. And then there's a stairway going up straight into the middle, and you can get to the top tower. So let's go ahead and head up to the top tower. You can go that way to get to the middle, or you can go to each one of these towers, which the towers, you know, there's just lights up here, and you can just have some views of different areas. And the middle tower just goes straight up. Alright, so we're at the top now, and from the top here, I busted out these windows just so you can walk out on either side that you want. Just so if you want to come up here and view the landscape and everything, and look around, you got good views of the plaza, Luna, the castle, you can kind of see it rendering in over there, Ferris Wheel and everything. And then on the back side over here, you can see more of the area. You got that castle there. This area here, what I was planning to do is expand all this around this whole castle and stuff. Now, it was supposed to be a village around the castle and everything, but some of these have stuff in it, some of them don't. Like this one right here was a diner and everything. You can see all the tables and stuff in there. Right here, there is a stairway that goes down, which I'll get to that in a second. Behind the stairway, there's a tree house back there. Me and one of my buddies, we got bored one day and we came over here and built this. Just a little tree house area. You know, it was something different. Which I do want to do a big tree build eventually. But for now, this is still pretty cool. From the treehouse area, if we jump down here, you can kind of get a glimpse of what that staircase leads to. We just head down these stairs right here, we'll get into another castle and underground building. So this area down here is 100 by 100 and I think 36 deep or something like that. I know it's 100 by 100, but I'm not really sure exactly how deep it is. It's kind of dark down here, so I don't really go down here too much. I do have plans to come down here and light it up a bit more. I want to redo the roof and everything and add a star roof. But there is a castle and stuff down here. The inside of the castle is just a wall, so it's kind of just a front of a castle just for looks. Still looks pretty cool down here. And we got the fountains and stuff on both sides, and then the water and stuff, glass roof. That was that lake that I was looking down into a second ago. Pretty cool little area down here. Fly around it real quick, get you a couple views of it. There you can see the houses better. And then you got chill spots and stuff in between the houses with the little walkways that come to them. So coming back out of this walkway here, if we go down this walkway, it goes in the mountain and then it turns and it heads to that build over there, which we'll get to that next. I want to go over here to this castle and go ahead and explore this first. We fly like right up underneath her hair and stuff, you can get a better view, and you can see all the pillars and stuff. I use stone and cobblestone for this. So there's not really that much color into it, but it still looks pretty cool. I do want to go back and add blackstone, which I probably won't ever do. But I think this place would look a lot cooler with blackstone accents. You know, like all this trim and stuff traded out for blackstone. If we head on in here, this is where I keep most of my extra dragon eggs, heads, and elytras and everything. I was sort of just throwing them in here because I thought this little section looked cool. You know, I got a whole line of elytra wings down here, a bunch of heads and stuff, extra dragon eggs. And on the back side over here, you can see this is the furnaces and stuff I was using whenever I was building this place. So these stairs on this one, they just come up, they wrap around, they go along this back wall. And then there's a walkway that goes down to the middle to put you on this side. And then the stairs go back up on the back side right here. From the roof area, you got a little gazebo right here at the front of it. And then it goes back into the back sections. You can go inside of these big ones right there. You just go inside and there's a ladder that brings you up and you got walkways that go all the way around. Then on the back side right here, there's another building part of this with more stairs that go up and go all the way up, which I'm not going to go in there because there's a creeper right there. And then from here you can see the front, how this whole thing goes down like that. This is where I really started with this build, with this whole circle thing right here. And then I built the build on top of it. You got this whole extra area over there. You just walk through the fence right here. And it's just a big field that I was going to do like recreational stuff. and that's where I want to do an add-on and add more stuff to this castle. And then from here we got 2 chunk arrow holes. So these holes right here we just dug out one day because I was really bored. Back on the PS3 edition you used to get these weird 16 by 16 chunk arrow holes that was glitched all the way down. You couldn't see bedrock or anything underneath it. So this was kind of a nod to those holes. Cool thing about this hole right here is if you plan it just right, from this area right here you can actually sprint jump and you can land on the bottom of that ladder right there. You'll barely make it. Here, I'll go ahead and give it a try real quick. Hopefully I don't die. Which I do have feather falling on, so I don't know if I will die if I do hit the ground. But let's go ahead and try. I think I jumped a little too early. Oh no, I barely made it. See. And here's the other chunk air hole that I was talking about. As for all these chests here, I started organizing everything because I was going to move it. Because we started sorting all the chests, I just haven't moved them yet. So this area will get cleaned up eventually. For this build here, I was just building some random building. I eventually ended up turning it to a library. So if we go ahead and head on up to it. So here's the top part of the garden area. You can see we have water and stuff all the way around, lots of water, flowers, stuff to add a little bit of color. We can go ahead and head on into the library. There's 2 floors for the edges and then all the books like this. And then out the back section over here, there's a little garden area that you can just walk around and stuff. You know, every library needs some kind of chill area. So if you fly in at an angle like this, you get a pretty cool view of the whole garden and everything. Just looks cool like this. Even though it's covered in snow, which I didn't plan for that, it kind of just happens sometimes. We got arches going around and stuff like that. So you can sit up here. You got a good view of the garden area, and then you got a good view of the inside with all the books and everything, which I don't know why it's snowing in here because all that is indoors. I guess it's so high it just snows in here. Alright, so now that it cleared up, we can continue on with this. So like I was saying, this walkway here just goes through this and then goes through that area and then it goes to this build here. Which this castle here, I gave to one of my friends. He was supposed to do the inside of it, and then he never did. So the inside never got finished. From this area here, you can see the bridge and stuff from the walkway. It looks pretty cool. And we can just head up on into it real quick. You can kind of tell what I was doing with most of my other builds. I was using basic blocks, like stone, cobblestone, and stuff like that, just to make things a lot easier. Just because I had a lot of it, and that was the easiest block to get back then. Nowadays, you can really get any block that you want really easy. So Minecraft has changed a lot from back then. So if we go ahead and head up these stairs here, we'll get to the rooftop garden area. Which this rooftop garden area I just recently came up here and built. It was just all flat and stuff, and I wanted something different, so I built this whole area here. You got like little gazebo things on each side, and then you got walkways that go around. Go ahead and give you a little flyover view of the garden and stuff. So from here we can go ahead and cut straight across the desert area. We got some pixel art right here. So this whole desert section here, we got a bunch of dogs lined up, and then behind it we got some kind of radio tower beacon type thing. This build here, I initially designed it for a spawn point on my creative world, but it was floating in the sky, flipped on upside down. So this was the top here, and then this was the bottom, and I just liked it with the rings and everything, liked how it came out, so I rebuilt it in my survival world, but flipped like this, so it looks like a cool tower area. So to get all these emeralds and everything, I'll just trade villagers and stuff. We had a big villager trader and stuff, which we'll get to the villager trader that I use for this, which is over there. There's a beacon and stuff just so the center of the tower can go all the way up. I kind of just like the rings on this thing. The rings do look really cool. If we head off in this direction, we got this little water thing here, which is another thing that I have no clue why I built it. I was just kind of bored one day, and I had a lot of sandstone and stuff from clearing out this desert, so I built this thing. So I'm gonna skip most of these stairs towards the bottom and just fly into like right here. Or not. So coming up on the top of this thing, on the inside it is full of water, and then I got these cool lava spirals going down the center. You know, just to add some extra texture and detail and stuff. I think they look pretty cool. It was the first time I was trying something like this, where I mix lava and water together without them touching. So it was pretty cool to mess around. And then on the top of it, you got the OG dirt house. This right here is really the best house that I've ever made, and it's my favorite house on my survival world. And with this house, I did a nod to it, and I made one with every ore on each side. So you got one that's made out of diamonds, one that's made out of lapis, that one back there is coal, and that one is redstone. I don't have one of emerald, just because whenever I was building these, we didn't have emeralds in my world back then. This right here is like 3 stacks of diamonds or something like that to build these houses. I don't really know the exact, I think it's like 2 or 3 stacks. I mean, you can count this and do the math if you want to. From up here, you got quite a good view of some other things. You know, you got the Pokeball and stuff. The top of that Pokeball right there is all redstone blocks, so that is a lot of redstone. And then from here, you can see the Cybertruck and everything. So the Cybertruck itself is over 300 blocks long, like 96 blocks tall, I think it was. Just the wheel itself is 50 blocks tall, so from the ground to the wheel is 50 blocks. So it's a pretty big Cybertruck. And you got the toilet paper roll in the background over there, and we got some other stuff. Oh, one thing I forgot to show you. I forgot to show you the spawn point from the side. So I'm going to go ahead and fly over there and show you the spawn point real quick. So if we land over here, you can kind of see the spawn point pretty good. Like I said, it was the pony that's holding up the Pokeball. So whenever we started the tour, we started on top of that Pokeball, and we went down through its leg right here, down this leg through its body, and then down this single leg right here, and then into the castle, and then that brought us down into the castle. So that's a pretty cool spawn point. You know, it's holding up the Pokeball, and then we got the other Pokeball into it. So let's go ahead and head back over here. So this chest right here was my chest that I was going to move every item into. I wanted a big storage area, so I built this, and then I never actually used it just because I didn't feel like transferring all the loot over here. So this place really never got used. It's been sitting here for a couple years now. It got hit by a couple creepers and everything, so there is some patching up that I need to do. This place is going to hold most of my items, and I have dispensers for everything, and it's all linked together with hoppers and chests in here. And we got 2 layers, so we got this layer here, and if we go up these stairs, we got this layer here. To add items into this whole system here, you come out to this back section. So this section here is for the bottom row, and then if you go up onto the roof, you can get all the top row and everything just through these right here. You put them down and it goes all the way down through there. And from out here, you can see the Pokemon better and stuff, and you can see the back side of that middle castle, and there's the whole spawn point and everything. This walkway here leads into that Pokeball, which is really nothing in it. You could just go up here, and there's stairs that go all the way up into it. And then this little hut here is a skeleton farm. So there is a skeleton spawner that's right here. Before, what I used to do is they would take fall damage, and they would fall all the way down. So this does go all the way down to bedrock. If I go ahead and head down right here, it does go all the way down to bedrock. And they used to hit this platform and die, and that'll pick up all the loot. But then one of the updates in Bedrock Edition made it where they despawn if they pass 50 blocks, or 44 blocks to be exact. So I had to add in this trident killer and stuff so it kills them within range. So on this one, I just AFK right here, and I turn on this trident killer, which, you know, it kills them and everything, and then all their loot just drops out of this. Come on back out here, and we got the Rainbow Factory thing right there. You know, it was just another one of those builds where I was bored one day and I just started building with wool. Made these cool little cube things, and then I built this rainbow factory that's dumping rainbow colors into the water here. So moving along this way here, we got the dirt mansion. So we got fountains on each side, and then we got this dirt house, which this dirt house I lived in for a while. When I was building all this area and stuff up over here, I was living in this. It was mainly just a storage area for my chests and everything. I never really did anything down here, but on the top part up here, I had all my chests and stuff, and this is where I was storing most of my stuff at the time. So if we head on to the dragon area here, this dragon was actually the first 3D build that I built, you know, like sculpture type thing, so it isn't the best. As you can see with the blocks down there, I would curve that a lot more and do a lot better shapes. But as for tests and stuff, it still looks great for someone that wasn't used to doing 3D stuff. But this is what got me into like building the big ponies and building the big 3D objects. And then behind this castle here, I didn't really like the way this castle was going. I didn't like the details in it, like all these stairs and stuff, and I just didn't feel like tearing it down. So we did build behind it. We came back in here and built a villager trader here. So this one here, kind of basic, you know, you got rooms for all the traders. We would breed them in this room right here. There's 2 villagers in here. And then up top over here, we got more traders on all 4 sides. And then from here, you could kind of see the toilet paper a lot better too. Which I built that whenever the whole COVID thing started. I was working on the Cybertruck and I wanted to take a break, so we came over here and built the toilet paper. So heading off down this way over here. So over here we have just some food farms and stuff. You got the old automatic wheat farm, which you had to go back and place everything again, which you still have to do that. You got a bunch of eggs right here from a bunch of chickens. You got carrots and you got all your other main foods. So this stable right here, I made it out of bricks, which I really wanted to do a big build out of bricks, but bricks were kind of hard to get back then because I didn't really have too many lakes and streams on the old PS3 map. So I couldn't really find a lot of clay. So this was about the only thing I could build with bricks, and I think it turned out pretty good. We got all of the horses in here. You know, we got Butt Stallion, if anybody gets a nod to that. So this area right here, this is the old villager breeder that I was talking about. This villager breeder right here I used for most of my emeralds and most of everything that I used to trade for on this map. This was my main villager trader. As you can tell, it still uses the old style with the doors and everything, which used to work really good. I used to love coming down here and trading with them. I kind of miss this style, but I kind of like the newer style now that I gotten used to it better. But this style right here, it was just so much easier to learn. This house here was one of my brother's houses, the same one that built the houses over there. As you can tell, he started getting better and stuff, and he was building better houses. He never finished it, but he was getting better. So that's pretty much it for all the old PlayStation 3 builds and stuff, because all this right here was built on PS3. So now we can get into the newer, better stuff, like the Cybertruck and all the stuff that we've been working on now. So with the Cybertruck, as I was saying earlier, it is over 300 blocks long. If we fly up over this way, you can kind of get a better view of it. It's just hard to get this whole thing in frame because it is really big. You can't really get a scale on it until you actually get underneath it or inside of it. Because now that I'm underneath it and looking down it, you can tell how big this thing actually is. This thing's massive. Like just the wheel alone is 50 blocks tall. Let's go ahead and bust through the window right here. We can go ahead and get on the inside of the Cybertruck. Which on the inside, I do have some plans for it. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I do want to do something in here. Just so it's not all plain. Because this is a really big area, and there's a lot of room to do anything I want in here. So maybe one future build we'll get in here and build something. Let's see if I can make it back through that window without hitting anything. So with this area with the Cybertruck and stuff, there was a big Woodland Mansion right here, which the only thing left out of the Woodland Mansion is this chicken right here. I just couldn't take down the chicken. This right here is an old Guardian farm which used to work really really good on the PS4 version, but now that we are on Bedrock version it doesn't work anymore, just because Bedrock version the Guardians and stuff spawns are different. They sort of spawn in certain areas instead of random in that area, so it kind of just broke this whole farm. This was actually the first build that me and Eddie have worked on together. So on both sides here we got a fish tank that wraps around and it goes underneath. We had a lot of problems with this fish tank, but we kind of got it figured out now. But this farm here used to work really, really good. We had guardians and stuff spawning all in these tanks, and they would drop down through here, and it would bring them to the center, and then that was the kill chamber. So if we head on down here, you can see all the loot and everything. We still have a whole bunch of stuff in these chests that we still need to move. And all these shockers right here are sea lanterns and stuff. So I knew this farm was going to be breaking whenever I switched to Bedrock version because I tested it. So what I did was I didn't transfer my world for like a week. So I gave myself time and I AFK'd these farms and got as many sea lanterns as I could before I transferred my world, just because I knew this whole farm was breaking and I wanted to get as much use out of it as I could before it broke. Alright, so from the Guardian farm, if we head back over here toward the spawn area, so this right here is the Emerald Hotel. So this hotel right here is based off of a real Rome building. It wasn't really a hotel, we kind of just added that feature to it, so there is a lot of differences. So if we come up over here, this is the lobby area. So, you know, you got this big old plaza and stuff, and it's kind of unfinished. We was recently coming in here and finishing it. This area here will be the office. This is where you check in and everything. You know, have like a little bar and stuff upstairs, and then have the check-in area down here. And then if we head off down this way, we can get to all the hotel rooms. So the hotel rooms, they're just basic little resort hotel rooms. You know, like just small rooms all the way down. They're the same thing all the way down. And you can go ahead and go inside of them. And on the inside, you got 2 beds, chests, anything you would need in a hotel. Because down here, which is unfinished, I want to build a stairway that goes down, and then we're going to do a beach resort underneath the build. So it's going to be an underground beach area down here, and turn this whole section into a beach, and then make all these walls look good. Here's you another view from this angle. From the Emerald build, if you look off on this direction, you can see the wool farm over here. Now this wool farm, we built this just because we needed a lot of wool for the Cybertruck and other things I was working on. And I was always tired of AFK farming wool, and it was taking forever, so I needed a mass wool farm. So this wool farm here is one of my favorite redstone builds that I've done, just because the way the items go and how everything works. It's just really cool how everything works in here. If we come up into the center, as you can tell, there is a lot going on. We have all 16 colors, so there's 16 tanks, one for each color, so we can get wool from each one. Really, you can just sit here and watch this thing all day and you'll see wool just coming up from everywhere. Some more wool over there, some blue, some purple. This thing's just cool to watch sometimes. As you can see, there's some pink right there. There's some purple going up. There's some white going up, some black going up. A little bit of everything. It works really, really good. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this much wool, how much this thing works. So if I get up on top of these tanks, you can kind of see the tracks and stuff better. The tracks are all these tanks all linked together, and then it brings all the wool into the center, and then it just goes up right there. And to get up to the top of the wool farm, I usually just fly up there, but if you don't have elytras for some reason, you can just go through any of these sides down here and go up these stairs, which these stairs are kind of long, but you can watch the wool and you can see the inside down here. So this is the underpath with all the tracks and everything. You can see more wool going up it. So once the wool goes up from down there, you can see it hits these up here, and then it goes down these streams, which drops them in those chests right there. Alright, so if we go ahead and jump off the backside of the wool farm, we can go ahead and head over to the flower farm, the item sorter, and everything in this area. So this flower farm here, you don't really need this many flower farms. You could just build one of these and switch out the flower whenever you want a different type of flower, but I kind of wanted one for every type of flower. So basically you just put bone meal in right here and then you turn it on. It'll grow your flowers, drop them, and then the flowers will go through here and it'll go into the system down there, which all of these systems are linked up, and all the flowers and stuff go down there in these chests. So it's a pretty cool little system that I have set up over here, and I have all 16 types of flowers. If we head off in this direction here, this is the item sorter, which we are currently still working on. That's why it's kind of a mess over here. So this is our current project right here, and then we got the gold farm right there, which that gold farm is Navy Nexus's gold farm. I just dressed it up and made it look like a bird feeder, and I added some birds on top of it, which the birds are still made out of dirt for right now. I still got to go back, which we're trying to finish this, and then I'll go back and fix them up, turn them into like wool or something nice. But for the gold farm here, I added this whole bottom section here. If you go ahead on into it, there is an item sorter that I built on down here, so it sorts all the gold and stuff and throws out all the rotten flesh, throws out anything that I don't want. And this is where we make most of our tools for everything. We just trade these for pickaxes, so we get pickaxes for 1 emerald each, and we get all our books, like mending books, efficiency books, and everything for 1 emerald each, and then we just build them all here. Here's some of the pickaxes and stuff that we've already went through. We kind of sort of stopped putting mending on them and we just get new ones because it's easier, and we want to see how many pickaxes we can go through. And then this build right here, this is a creeper farm on that side and a sugarcane farm on this side, just so we have unlimited rockets, which the creeper farm is currently broke because they updated it where you can't use buttons anymore, and I have buttons in there, so I do need to get in there, take out all the buttons. And that's a really easy fix. You just add trapdoors instead of buttons and it'll fix all that. So that's the sugarcane in a creeper farm. You AFK right there. The creepers fall down through there. They land on this platform right there, and it kills them, collects all their gunpowder, and puts it down there. And there's a bird sitting on top of that. So for this item sorter here, this is what we are currently working on. If I fly up here real quick, you can get a better view of it, of how big this place is. It's all quartz and everything, so what we're doing is trading a bunch of villagers for quartz. That's what's taken so long, is because we got so many quartz we have to get. And this sorter here can sort over 1,400 items. A creeper blew up right there, so we do have to fix that, so just ignore that. We don't have everything organized or in it yet. We're still kind of working on this. We got a lot to do on this. Basically, this farm is as big as you can have it without it breaking. So if you stand in the center chunk here, it goes out 4 chunks in each direction. And if you drop down this middle section here, down here we have a whole bunch of bulk storage. This is where all our bulk storage is going to go. All these right here are shulker loaders. So whenever the top part fills up and stuff, and we have like mass amounts of cobblestone, we'll have a bulk storage down here for the overflow stuff that puts it in shulkers for us and loads it up in its mass storage. So to use this system here, you can either put your items in this chest right here, or you can just throw them down in the sides right here. We also put hoppers, so if you have shulkers and stuff, you can just set them down right here and it'll drain everything out of them. But basically, it'll drop all the items down into there, which it'll put it in that, and this will bring them all the way up and then put them into the system, and then they'll just make their rounds throughout the whole system. But like I said, this is our current project, so if you do want to see this finished or us working on it, we will be working on this on stream and everything, finishing this up, and then we'll move on to the next main build, which is the dragon. I haven't showed that yet. We'll show that at the end. So since this is kind of a full tour video, I'll go ahead and show you some of my hidden things. Like back here, this is a iron farm that we just AFK over here and get iron. It's a pretty basic one, but it gets us plenty of iron, which we're using currently to build all the hoppers and stuff that we need. And then if we head off out in this direction back here, we got a raid farm. The raid farm is what I currently use to get all my emeralds that I need. And we use the emeralds for trading to get all the tools that we use and all the quartz that we're currently using for the item sorter and a bunch of stuff like that. So if I fly back over everything and I head back in this direction, so we are over here back on top of the Emerald build. The wolf farm's loading in over there. And this right here is Eddie's build. So Eddie built this not too long ago. He did have more plans where he was going to do the whole landscape and stuff underneath it. If we fly up closer to it, you can see how much detail that he actually put into this thing. So he did do a lot of detail with all these stairs and everything. Alright, so from here, this is the pixel art table that I was using for all the map arts. I know I didn't show them underneath all the ponies because I knew I'd get to this area here and I could just show all of them at one time. So here's all the cutie marks for all 6 ponies right here. It's kind of just basic map art of each one. And last but not least, we got the dragon build back over here. So this dragon build here is going to be my main build for this year. I really want to get into this and do a lot on this. Once the item sorter is finished, I will be mainly working on this. And I have a lot of plans for this thing right here. So some of the plans that I have for this right here is it's going to be a dragon. It's all stone. I did that on purpose just because I want it to look like the dragon's cast in stone, frozen. I'm going to add some like chains to his feet. I'm going to do a whole custom biome underneath it. You can see where I was kind of changing the land and stuff right there. On top of the wings, I want to put grass and everything. Make it like a village and stuff up there and do a whole different world up there. So it's like, you know, heaven up there. And then underneath, I want all dark and medieval, kind of like heaven and hell style, but a different twist to it using the wings of the dragons to split it. That's why the dragon wings are kind of flat like that, so you can build houses and stuff on top of them. And I want to build this whole ring right here and then custom mountain landscape that goes up like this on both sides and then have a whole bunch of different types of builds in this. So it's going to be a lot of work. That's why this is going to be my main project. But I think it's going to turn out really good once I do that. And here's the dragon from this side so you can get a different view. So that's pretty much it for the tour of my survival world. A lot of time and work went into this world, and hopefully I can continue it and build bigger and better things. So if you like this video and everything, then drop a like and let me know down in the comments what you think of my world. If you have any ideas what I should do with it and everything, then make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we will start streaming and we'll be working on this most of the time. And I think this build right here is going to go far, and it's going to look awesome when it's done. So yeah guys, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and peace out.